Now, on a journey into the unknown, there are times when you seek a light of inspiration and motivation. Our chief guest this morning, Professor Dheeraj Sanghi, is one such person who is very fondly admired by the students in our country. He's a professor of computer science at IIT Kanpur and has also been the Dean of Academic Affairs at IIT Kanpur. He was most recently the Dean of Academic Affairs at IIT Delhi and is the former director of LM and IIT Jaipur. Professor Sanghi is also a prolific writer, and his blog on education in India is very widely read. It gives me great pleasure to welcome Professor Sanghi to IIT Gandhinagar, and I invite him to address you all.
Even before she said invite me, I said, let me just walk up to the stage. I'm so eager to talk to you. Thanks, IIT Gandhinagar, to have me here. But you know, this title of chief guest, this is my 49th visit to IIT Gandhinagar, right? It's my home, it's my second home. And therefore, I wouldn't consider myself as a guest here. Anyway, so first of all, let me start by congratulating all the students who have worked really hard to get a good rank in JEE and be here finally. Let me also congratulate all the parents who have done a huge amount of sacrifice for all of you to be here. And I must thank Yash Shah, because, you know, I was told that I can only speak for 20 minutes here. Now, as a faculty member, I'm used to teaching for 1 hour. And I was like, I prepared a speech almost, which was about 1 hour. And what I see is a significant part of what I wanted to say, Yash has already said. So I can perhaps now try to complete it in 20 minutes. Thank you, Yash. Okay. Now, I also, yesterday night, I asked Professor Jain, what am I supposed to speak on? Of course, I had prepared something, but still, should I modify this and so on? And he said, talk positive, right? Yeah, these are young kids, just come. I mean, don't criticize them too much, right? So I will try not to criticize you too much. But I think there are things that I want you to think about, and it may sound like criticism, but that's not the idea, okay? Now, I meet a lot of students in this admission season, June, July, May, and you know, I talk to maybe a couple of hundred people who have passed JEE and are going to join an IIT. Almost every student who talks to me starts by saying, you know, I have a rank of 1, 2, 3, 4, but you know, I deserved a rank which is much better than this, right? I don't think I've ever met a student who says, I've got this rank and I'm lucky to have got this rank, right? Which sounds very surprising to me. I also did pass JEE in historical times, you know, 35 years ago. And if somebody had told me that my result is that I didn't qualify JEE and I'm not going to join an IIT, I would say, that's fine, right? I think I did my JEE pretty well and I got a good rank and all that, but if I hadn't gotten that rank, I wouldn't really be cribbing about it. I wouldn't really be saying that I deserved better, right? At some level, JEE is a lottery, okay? And you have been lucky to be here. Let me be blunt, and maybe it sounds like criticism, okay? So don't criticize yourself for, you know, or criticize IIT or JEE for not evaluating you correctly. When you deserved a rank of 100, you got a rank of 1,000. These things are very, very unimportant, and you will very soon realize nobody in this world give a damn about your JEE result, okay? Forget about it. Now you're in IIT, forget the past, it's a fresh beginning, okay? Bottom line is, the JEE result only means that you are academically super prepared. Very, very strong academically, that's why you are here. Anything beyond that, to look at any is very narrow meaning in this, 4,000 rank is better than 3,000 rank, or 4,000 rank is worse than 5,000 rank, my rank is 5,000, how will I perform well in this place? Or my rank is 2,000, maybe I deserve to go somewhere else. I think those narrow meanings you should give up, and it's not going to lead you anywhere if you keep thinking about it. You must now realize that everybody around you is very special. Okay? You may have certain skills, you may have some merit, as they say, but everybody else also has special skills. You may be slightly better in physics, but somebody else could be very good at sports. Somebody else would be very good at speaking. Somebody else would be very good at mathematics. Somebody else would be very good at programming. Right? So all of you here are special individually. Unfortunately for the admission purposes, we have to put all of you in a linear ranking. Merit can never be put into a linear ranking. They are all so different people, right? Now that the admission part is over, consider everybody else as your equal, as your peer, because they have skills that you don't have, and you have skills that they don't have. So there is no need for you to say, oh my God, how will I perform here? All of them are so good. Or nor do you have to say, I'm so great, they don't deserve to be with me in my same class. Both of those attitudes are really horrible. Just like the JEE rank doesn't matter anymore, after 4 years you will realize that your discipline doesn't matter anymore. So, most of you are anyway not going to be engineers. Even if you are going to be engineers, then in every discipline there is a huge opportunity in this country and around the world. And therefore, to think that a branch is lower or higher is again makes no sense whatsoever. Whether you are studying X or Y, you have your own opportunities, your own interest. Your interest should guide what you want to do in future and not this notion of higher and lower branches. Having said all that, what should you be doing in IIT? And if I can say that in one line, become a human again. You were born human. Our system forced you to become a rat for some time. You were participating in a huge rat race. You have succeeded. Now you have become a sheep because there is a herd mentality like sheep. Last year's closing rank, as I said, higher branch, lower branch, all those questions. And now that phase is also over, become human again. What does that mean? It means now try to find yourself. Now try to see what your passions are. Now try to see what your interests are, what you want to do in life. Something what Shah also mentioned. And this is really the best place which will let you do that. Recently in one of the blogs I wrote that if I was JEE number 1 today, I will join IIT Gandhinagar. And I wasn't saying that just because I'm a friend of Sudhir Jain. I really believe that. I really believe that you all have come to the right place. And, to be finding yourself, an opportunity has been given to you to do anything under the sun. If you look at curricular, I think Amit has talked about all the options that you're going to have. Easy branch change, Yash had talked about. Right? Minors, dual degree, lots of electives. So really, you will be able to explore what you want to do. In co-curricular and extracurricular, again, previous speakers have mentioned a lot. Right? Whether you want to play sports, whether you want to be leadership, whether you want to just play music, or anything else that you want to do, this is the right place to explore everything. Of course, I also, at the end, agree with Yash, who said academics first. That's what was my part of the speech was also, which I'm not going to repeat. Okay? So I think become a human again should be your motto for the next 4 years. And human being means also ethics, values, understanding society. I think you are one of the most privileged people in this country. And therefore, it behooves on you to give back. Perhaps within these 4 years, to some extent, but beyond these 4 years, because you will be learning a lot of skills and knowledge that you can make use of for this society. We will, of course, help you in becoming that human again. This institute will have the highest number of humanities and social science courses. And this is one question that a lot of students in first year ask me from across the IITs, and particularly in IIT Kanpur where I teach. Why are we doing these humanities courses? Are they relevant? Are they useful? I think they are the most relevant for your education. In Kanpur, we have this tradition of alumni meet after 25 years. And in every such meet, we ask the alumni, what do you think was the best part of curriculum when you were a student here? And every time they say humanities. You can learn technical knowledge very quickly in the job. In any case, the technical knowledge is changing so quickly that whatever we are going to teach you today, 25 years later, that may not be very relevant. Of course, it's important. So, what is important in those technical courses and science courses that you're going to do is to pick up skills on analytic. How do you solve problems? The specific formula or the specific knowledge is not very important, but this whole process of doing problem solving is what is more important. And in that sense, because this Gandhinagar allows you or forces you in some sense, the maximum number of humanities and social science courses across the IIT system, I think that is one reason I say that this is the best IIT in the entire system. Okay. Now, to give you an example, so the skills and knowledge that you're going to learn are, of course, meant for problem solving, and you will be able to solve more problems the more skills and knowledge you have. Right? However, it doesn't give you wisdom. It doesn't give you wisdom to know which problem to solve. There are lots of problems around us. Which problem to solve is also a very important problem. And which problem to solve, you will be able to solve only if you define that problem correctly. So I think, these humanities courses will tell you how to define a problem. I'll give you an example from your own recent experience. Right? I'm sure many of you would have wondered, should I join IIT Gandhinagar Computer Science, or should I join Textile at IIT Delhi, or should I join this or that? Right? Which is better? Is this combination better than that combination? Right? And you would have talked to many people in your neighborhood, your relatives, to anybody else you know who could possibly throw light on this. And I can tell you, this question itself is seriously flawed. And the reason you have gone through a very stressful period before the JOSA, those things had to be entered, the last date for that, you were very stressful because you didn't know, should I put this at 10th number or 11th number? And the reason you were stressful was because you were asking the wrong question. Why is that question wrong? Isn't that the most obvious question? Is A better than B? That question is wrong because it presupposes a universal definition of better. It presupposes that when I ask somebody, is A better than B, there is a definition of better which is shared between two of us. Unfortunately, there is no such definition of better. And that is what is causing stress in you. If you realize that there is no definition of better, then your first question is going to be, when the JEE result comes out or even before that, right, you would start asking people, what should be the parameters I should use to make a choice? What should I consider as better? That's the right question. Okay. But you don't ask that question. So I think when you do humanities courses here, once you do some training with Jason, in fact, Jason pointed this out to me in my last visit to Gandhinagar, that this is the kind of problem people face, and that's the reason why people are stressful unnecessarily. Right? So I think doing humanities courses is extremely important because you will be able to ask the right question, and since you are asking the right question, you will probably be able to solve those questions much better. Now, since parents are in this room, let me just say a few words to them. As was pointed out by the previous speaker, many of you are going to be concerned. By the way, my daughter is also going to college this year, so I know how it feels. Yesterday, when I was preparing for this address, I read about something called an empty nest syndrome. Search in Google and look at the Wikipedia page. And it's a fact, when somebody who has stayed with you for 16, 17, 18 years is leaving to a place where you would not have much control over the environment, even though they may provide the best environment, you would always be feeling that, what if this, what if that? At home, he had an AC room. Here, probably there is no AC. I think it's going to be more of your problem than the kids' problem. They are going to enjoy here. In fact, they are going to enjoy so much that very soon they will stop calling you. And that's going to increase this emptiness syndrome even further. And the only advice I can give you, and I'm giving myself in some sense that advice, right, that the solution is not to make 10 phone calls a day. Right? The solution is to get busy in your own life. Let him or her be free. We have this problem in Kanpur also. So recently, there was this guy who forgot to write the end sem exam. The 8 to 11 was the exam. He showed up at 10:30, and of course, he failed, right? It was a 40% weight and all that kind of stuff. So he wrote an application to the director saying that, I normally used to be woken up by my mother. That day she forgot to call me at 6 a.m. And therefore I just kept sleeping. I got up at 10:30 and by then the exam was over. Maybe you should give me another chance to write the exam. Well, finally he did. He passed and all that. But, and this guy's a fourth-year student. He's not just admitted yesterday. I think this is a problem. Okay? Leave them alone. Get busy with yourself in your own life. Right? So one of the suggestions that this Wikipedia page had for people like me was just, get more deeply involved with your spouse. Go and enjoy, have vacations. Forget about your kids. They are in safe hands. So finally, congratulations once again to everybody for their brilliant performance in JEE. Congratulations also because of your wisdom to select IIT Gandhinagar, which, as I said, is the best IIT. Enjoy your stay here, work hard, play hard, make lots of friends. Yeah, that's one part I think I didn't emphasize in my speech. So maybe not finally. Let me just talk about this. Right? I think what you're going to get out of this 4 years is, of course, knowledge, freedom, wisdom, everything else. But the friendship that you're going to make here are going to last a lifetime. It is so amazing the kind of people you're going to meet here and what they can help you with over a period of time. Okay. I'll give you, just one example of how my batch, again, 35 years ago we met those people, right? They continue to help me in ways that I can't even imagine, right? 4 years ago, my father was in a hospital and the doctor said it's a matter of hours. I informed my sister in US, and she said she wants to leave immediately. But, unfortunately, she had already taken US citizenship, getting visa, all that was, how will she get visa? And this is around 10 p.m. US time, and she says, I need visa at 9 a.m. in the morning, right? And if you know the visa issue is you apply to some website, and then they will give you an appointment 1 week later, and it happens. It takes about a couple of weeks, and then you buy tickets and so on and so forth. And I said, let me do something. I sent an email to my batchmates list that this is the issue, right? One of the friends who was in Tashkent at that time called me in an hour, and he said, oh, I've already spoken to this guy in Houston, who is the Indian Consulate General there. And he's awake right now. Send him an email asking exact questions. He will tell you what documents to bring, and she will get visa at 9 a.m. And she did. Right? It's amazing how people can help. Right? So I think the friendship that you're going to make here are going to last a lifetime. And don't make friendship just because they will help you in future. I think it's just, you're going to enjoy life with them, and they're really the best friends that you will ever have. Okay. Let me see if there is anything else in my notes. Yeah, so finally, Become a Human Again project, right? So what I want to make sure is each one of you, 4 years from down the road, when you exit these hallowed portals of this institute, you are not the same person as the one who has entered these portals today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Sanghi. I really like it when you said it's very important to be human first and to inculcate those values which are going to last lifelong.